Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is for The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 11, Rouge Element. And this episode was directed by Michael Cudlitz. So he's back in some form or fashion on The Walking Dead. This was a different kind of episode of The Walking Dead. And if I mean different, well, we'll get into that in a minute. Of course, I'm not alone. I got Joe Dirtylocks who's brewing some coffee. He'll be with us in a few moments, coming on in to join the discussion. And of course, we're not alone. We have with us the live motherfucking chat. Oh, right now we got all the awesome people. We got Atari Dad. We got Puppy Facey. Great name, Puppy Facey. We got Chalk Boy. We got Jay. We got Tony Pajamas. Tony Pajamas is in the live chat. Turn that off right there. Tony Pajamas in the live chat, and the real YT popping in there too. It's gonna be a fun night talking about a amazing episode of The Walking Dead. I'm very excited to come out here and talk about this episode tonight. It is a Eugene-centric episode, and that was what it was, but I don't know. I was gonna try to play it off real positive, and then have Joe pop in here in the middle and go stop it. Less X-Files, more walkers. I love how they threw in a walker scene in the middle of the episode just to remind us what show we were on. But there were a couple of things that I didn't mind in this episode. Specifically, shut up. Specifically, Mercer. I kind of like the character of Mercer. He was a little more than the stereotypical. Was
he mysterious?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that he was
hard enough for you. Did you like his padded bum plate armor?
No, none of that. Just he wasn't complicated. They weren't trying to overdo it with he was what you saw he was, and I kind of enjoyed that. And I didn't hate the stuff with the reporter stuff.
He was what you saw he was, a brooding, quiet guy who split a zombie in half. Yeah, it was a cool zombie move.
Okay. Joe, I'm trying to pick golden nuggets out of turd here. Give me a second to get this out here.
No.
And I didn't mind the reporter stuff, but I wish I was watching a different show. Like I would watch a modern day show of a Columbo-like show with Connie and her sister going around and solving crimes in a different world on a better show in a different place. And I also liked the even distribution of storylines. Okay. I like how sometimes in The Walking Dead on episodes like this, we could have gotten a full-on nothing but Eugene and Princess all the time. At least they broke it up with two also somewhat uninteresting stories. I guess I didn't mind the Carol and them going off to the opium farm. There's a couple of cool shots in this, but for the most part, this is just more of the same for me. I don't know how you felt about this, Joe, but I was having trouble getting into this. I don't think the actor that plays Eugene. I think you should
carry fucking water. Never mind a scene, dude.
That's the problem, though. They were trying to give him more. We've gotten to this point in this show where our legacy,
dude. It's not okay. Here's the thing. All right. Okay. We cannot just blame Eugene here, right? Okay. You got to suspend so much, right?
No.
This is a guy.
Fair.
This is a guy who could not even watch Abraham and Rosita fuck while he was sitting in the shadows, but he's gonna go all super spy and creep after all these fucking agents of whatever, right? And stealthily sneak through the building behind one of them. Of course, he gets caught in that moment, but like all of a sudden he's like, yeah, move the dumpster, climb the ladder, break in. Like,
it was comical, and I'm not going to give, again, it's not his fault. That what I was going to say is that we're at this point with legacy characters on the show where Eugene's like the old guard, and they're like, so they've given us like a Eugene centric deep episode, and God bless his performance, but it's a character that should be there for like 1 second moment here and there. Should not be carrying an episode. It's just too much Eugene.
We saw Rosita going on like doing the wellness check for old buddy Eugene.
Yeah, she's full on Stormtrooper team. Let's get to the chat a little bit because I saw some interesting comments at the beginning. Atari Dad.
Daryl was nowhere to be seen.
No Daryl in this episode.
He must be off trying to go get more people for the.
We'll probably see him next week with Maggie up at Alexandria.
Yeah.
Oh, not Alexandria. Where are they? Yeah, is that
Hilltop.
Are they at the hill? Yeah, the Hilltop. I'm sorry. So Atari Dad, I know Eugene is new to the whole dating thing, but you would think wait until your date shows up to buy ice cream, says Atari Dad.
Right? Like that. Go ahead and have one, and have another one when she gets there. Like, but yeah.
Puppy facey adds, I don't understand the Commonwealth's point with the whole fake Stephanie thing. Like, were they trying to accomplish? What were they trying to accomplish? And I also want to add, considering that Eugene has never seen Stephanie before, and it ends up being the fake Stephanie and all that sort of shit, it's amazing that they dressed up this fake Stephanie like real Stephanie. They gave her the same kind of glasses, and they gave her the same look and stuff too. So it seems this was like a lot for a
Maybe
little.
It was for like the casual like. Never mind. I'm not.
Yeah. See, you were getting into the point where you're gonna do me. We were switching roles there for a second, and you were gonna defend this shit.
Can't do it.
Can't
do it.
But this was a tough one. I would say that these episodes for me this season have, and I know you'd say they were all in the toilet bowl, Joe, but for me, each one's gotten worse. I think the first one
significantly worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
This was significantly worse than last week. I thought last week was the worst we could get, and last week wasn't all bad, but this week it bordered on caricature. I just want to ask.
What was the point of this week? Okay, we all knew
it was fake Stephanie.
There,
yeah,
we all knew it was going to be a fake Stephanie right from the Rocky Road scene. In the beginning, what
Rocky
you didn't want
Road.
Rocky? I don't like Rocky Road. Like, missed that detail reading the transcripts. Misses I like to read books.
I miss that we're gonna miss Eugene's whole sci-fi documentary. I want to ask a question because I don't think it was, but the plumber guy that shows up, the Jason Statham, the Triple H, was that Triple H the wrestler? Because he was acting like he was. There was a couple of moments where there was the drug dealer guy was a horrible actor. I'm sorry. Like,
oh, dude, that was the stupidest shit ever.
He was laughably bad.
Doing the abused woman nods over there and shit, like the silent communication. The I know what's been going on here. He's robbing these farmers and robbing you, trying to rob you. Like what,
she was studying, but
I don't all like up on that hillbilly drug trade. Yep.
She knows it. She's tapped into the people. She's seen these things before, Joe, and that's why these people.
Why isn't the hospital just growing their own?
Well, they need to deal with people like this.
Why isn't the town doesn't the town have like a fenced in area?
Maybe they voted on it. Maybe
this is ridiculous.
This douchebag tried to push it through. Anyways, this just got overly complicated too much. They can't pull off the kind of stuff that they're trying to do. Maybe this works if it's a similar kind of dynamic that was in the graphic novels, because I'm past the point where I know anything that happens in the graphic novels. So maybe this worked in paper with Rick there and Carl there and something like that. But whatever they're doing in Michonne there, but whatever they're doing right now, especially, and I know people can say I'm up Jeffrey D. Morgan's ass right now at this point, or on his balls, but especially with him gone these last couple of episodes, you miss that energy, and there's not much of that anymore. Princess, who I've been singing her praises, was awful in this episode. She was comically awfully bad. And I just want to be fair that I've pointed out several times, each one of her other performances, I've been like, I like this actress. She's pulling off something good. In this one, even the way she was saying the dialogue seemed a little off to me. And it seemed like she was not quite into it, or they were taking first takes instead of taking final takes or something. I don't know, Joe. It seemed really, really like she seemed off working with Eugene. Like it didn't make a lot of sense. For me, seriously, the only section that was passable to me, and I said this to you last week about something else, if this was the third story in a better episode, I wouldn't have minded the Connie and her sister investigating. That's all we need with the corruption thing in the Commonwealth. Like, duh, there's fucking corruption there. You just have that as a...
That's even stupid. Like,
I mean, yes.
I'm sorry, but this whole thing is stupid. Like it's really just fucking stupid. Everybody there is like, yeah, sure, like society collapsed, but like Let's continue to be abused by the people who thought
do you
they were
but
rich
do you
and powerful before.
what's ridiculous to me is
Let's revive all the worst parts of society.
But that's part of it. What's so ridiculous to me is how easily they assimilate to this kind of life again, and there's no questions in 30 days. Like say what you want. Like again, when the main crew got to the small town of Alexandria and checked in, they were still feral. You know, Rick was killing Porch Dick for getting in his face.
This is like 6 years later.
No, but I'm saying like our characters.
9 years later.
But our main characters have only been in this kind of environment 30 days. 30 days ago, they were starving and almost like that dude's right. 30 days ago, most of them were going to die from starvation. They were
just finishing a war.
Yeah, finishing a war with the people that were dressing up like zombies and eating and like killing them and shit. Like they're not these group of people.
It's dumb.
And in less than 30 days, in less than 60 days, they've completely
Daryl's all about it. Yeah, Daryl of all people.
And they're assimilated right back into it, Joe. A couple of other points I want to go through the comment section. Chalkboy says this is like the Battlestar Galactica season on the island. I didn't watch Battlestar Galactica. I don't know what that means, Joe. Do you understand?
I did, but I don't remember.
It's probably meaning it's the shitty, boring season. Chalkboy says I would have eaten the cherry on my date, regardless if my date showed up. You gotta eat that ice cream. You gotta eat that ice cream. Yes, we were a little bit late. Jay, sorry, that was my fault. The real YT. I wouldn't call it amazing. Phantom, I know. I definitely would not call it amazing. Phantom D Saint, great to see Phantom D Saint in the live motherfucking chat. Oh, Torf, yes, he says this perfectly. Great, Eugene centric. Atari Dead, hey Phil, think you might just go covering finals and premieres. You and Joe seem like you're kind of getting burned out on this, and you don't need to do 3 more of these this way. Yes, we do. I'm not saying Joe's like maybe. We are burned out on it, but we've committed to doing every one of these final episodes of this final. We've done worse than this. We faced worse than this. We're gonna get through this poo so you don't have to every week and we'll get through it. We might talk about the episode less and less each week, but we're gonna get through them. There's
like, so does that mean we're starting the recap right now?
Pretty soon, but but what we might do is catch up in a week or so. I was gonna suggest it this week, but I was a little behind and stuff. Catch up and watch 2 episodes and get on the week that the episode is actually new. Because either way, we're still behind a week. You know,
right, but that would mean we'd have to go on an hour later.
Maybe, but we could watch the other episode anytime. That's what I'm saying. We could watch the other episode on Saturday and then watch the newer episode on. We'll talk about that off the air. Blah blah blah. We'll talk about that off the air. Monk Monty, great to see. Is this show still worth? No, it's not worth watching. Puppy face. This was the worst one I can remember watching. I literally checked to see how much time was left in the whole episode. There was only 15 minutes left. It was awful. Holy shit. Lots of great comments in the live chat. Keep them coming, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have a voicemail line tonight. I tried to say. We have our loins are spread all over the voicemail line at 781-990-8509. Get into that. I did not write a recap tonight. I borrowed it from a website called Celebrity Mixer, so let me give that a pub right there. Joe, I was thinking about you tonight when I was sharpening my knives, but like not in a homicidal way, but I was thinking about you. I don't know. I'm struggling to say many positive things about this episode in particular, other than I enjoyed some of the direction in it.
Okay.
Because Michael
I don't have it in me to argue with you, dude. I don't have it in me to enjoy whatever you find in you, Phil. Through watching that fucking trash of enjoyment, whatever you need to say.
Whatever I need to do to myself to perform.
Right. Before or after to make it okay with you. I can't argue with you now. You enjoyed the direction it took. Okay. Okay.
I didn't say that. Don't go there. Who said
some of the direction it went?
No, not the direction it went. The direction of the episode, like the way.
Oh, how Michael Cudlitz masterfully crafted, fucking dirt Dick Diggler over there tiptoeing through
Dirt
the fucking
McGirt
shadows
Diggler.
and sweating with his oh, we're gonna go full conspiracy theory, ropes on the board and pictures and stupid hand drawn. Look, it's this guy and that guy. Did you see the fucking hand drawn building?
Dude, I was gonna say that later. Like, I was
like the stupidest fucking thing. Good job, Michael Cudlitz. Good job.
I was gonna say that later.
Successfully directed the most boring, stupidest fucking episode in the entire series. The only episode so far that I've seen that possibly at least could have been minusculely worse is the fucking dumpster fire. But that's it.
That was just a one-time moment. The dumb resistance, literally no one cares about the workers' rights in this situation. Workers' rights.
They put themselves down. Let's join the society that we like.
And I think they were maybe we're talking about the oh god, I'm gonna need to drink to talk about this episode. What in the little boy goats? I want to name little boy goats. We had a whole episode of that sort of Eugene one-liners and all that sort of shit. I love how the minute he asked her to move in with her, she just bolted. She fucking bolted. And we don't mind those here. Okay, so Joe, I'll do it.
How many more times do I gotta sleep with that fucker?
She was really believable. You know, she didn't like you. She doesn't like Iron Maiden. She doesn't like this. She doesn't like that. But you know, your sci-fi novel wasn't bad. She said that was pretty good. You should keep up with that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me get into this here because why not? It's about time. Recap. Okay, we can't even get excited for it, but it's the recap of the situation. Again, in Angela King's explanation.
Here's the recap. You ready?
Hey, wait. Let me put the camera on you. Let me get you on camera.
Eugene sweats. Carol squinty eyes a bunch of people in the fucking woods. Eugene sweats some more. The reporter goes around and asks a whole bunch of questions she already knows the fucking answers to. And then Eugene sweats some more and cries and bleeds a little. Maybe pisses himself. There's your episode.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this show, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend. Touch us right. This has been the Joe Dirty Lock Show, the most succinct podcast in the world. Thank you.
If you like Eugene sweating, this is your episode.
You know what, Joe? You know what I've been searching for? I've been searching for that Eugene sweating episode the whole time. Yours and Emerald's Eyes' recap is really good in the live chat right now. Here's my recap. Z. Okay, no, we're not stopping right now. Joe, you're not getting out that easy. So, but I did watch the new Lakers series, a little bit of that because I watched the Walking Dead episode an hour earlier. We can talk about that. It was very interesting. John C. Reilly was exceptionally decent as Dr. Jerry Buss, and the kid that they had playing Magic didn't sell me at first, but he eventually sold me with the smile. But anyways, let's get into this recap. Oh yeah, or we can talk about some Elden Ring. I definitely wouldn't mind that.
I haven't played this game of rings.
Puppy Face says, Facey says, perfect summary, Joe.
Puppy Feces, what?
Eugene, Joe's mama, who, is this really Joe's mama? It might be. Joe's mama says, Eugene Sweats needs to be a song. And I could definitely agree with that. I got to write myself a memory to make sure that is a song. How about Eugene Bangs? So I'm at level 32 at this point. No, but let's continue here. So yeah, I wanted more ice cream. Get a lot of ice cream references. They make sure you know that there's ice cream in the Commonwealth show. No matter what, they make sure.
Make sure we know they got the cream.
Yeah, they got the cream. There's ice cream. The walking Lakers after they all got old.
I haven't seen any cows, but they got ice cream.
They got tons of ice cream. They can't make their own. They can't get their own
They can't
opium.
grow their own opium, but they got the cows to make all this ice cream.
Yes, they do. Okay, so in The Walking Dead season 11, episode 11, the Alexandrians are finding out once again that the newfound community that they have in the Commonwealth, Joe, is not as safe as it once seemed. Can you believe it? Can you believe that this place is as corrupt and weird as we automatically assumed it was because of every other situation that we've ever encountered? Wouldn't the weirdest thing in the world for this whole situation to them not have been all fucked up? Like if we happen to just find the one reasonable people in the entire zombie apocalypse, but maybe that's the point.
That would have been too
different.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would, exactly. That would have been the one different thing they finally did.
I mean, I guess they're
finding a community of people that wasn't just like complete fucking savage and weird.
But this group is savage and weird in a different sort of way. Do we at least
we don't know how yet.
Joe, do we at least give The Walking Dead credit for trying a different genre in this episode with the enemy of the state bullshit, like conspiracy theory crap?
All I feel like, this is what I feel like. This is really what I feel like. I felt like 5 episodes or so ago, whatever it was, back when Maggie and Negan and Daryl were off chopping up fucking masked killers and wherever the fuck they were, right?
You mean when we're in the zombie apocalypse?
Right. And then suddenly, like, snap your fingers and we're in Fear the Walking Dead land.
Is that what it is? Because I haven't been watching Fear the Walking Dead.
I don't watch that shit either. I stopped watching it because it's this. Because this is what, like, yeah, like, no, that's what I just feel like that. I don't know. That's what I feel like just happened.
Yeah, and I don't feel like they can pull. I've said this a couple of times before. It's not so much that I mind the structure of what they're doing with the story. It's that I don't feel like they have the talent pool or the direction from on top to.
There's nothing here
to pull it off.
Writing. There's no like the showrunners are fucking.
The cinematography is good. And some of the music was good in this episode.
I can't even notice this. I'm looking through too much. If that's what you find to get yourself through the episode, Phil. If the camera moves,
dude, you're like
across.
Dude, you're like I'm working the worst job in the world, and you're like
brow. Then good. Like,
dude, just keep saying when this
that wide shot of Eugene running across the field at night. To go run over to the building now that the guy has left, and then scream outside the building for help outside the apartment building. Help me climb this rusty ladder after we made all that noise with the barrel getting over here.
The propensity of my dignity gets me up the ladder with the propensity of the speed of the left Tom Thompson.
Right out in the front of the fucking building. Nobody's gonna see us fly from the side of it.
Oh my God. Give him credit for filming the episode and editing on time. Exactly, Ian. They edited it on time. They finished an episode on time, Joe. Give them credit for that at least.
Hey,
Westworld. Wait, Joe.
Director credits under his belt.
Yes, and they have episodes come out every year. Shows don't do that. Look at Westworld. It's been gone for 7 years. No one even remembers what was happening.
You know why Michael Cudlitz is directing episodes? He's been doing it since he got booted, right? Since he got killed.
Because he can't get a job after Walking Dead?
No, because none of the other real directors want to work on this fucking show anymore.
They're like, I got to direct that kind of writing, so they have to give it to the old the ex actors because every actor wants to be a director.
Yeah.
No, trust me, they do. They want their chance in the seat. Actually, the show has actually gotten worse than Fear, says Atari Dad. Fear has more or less started to embrace campiness. They have characters doing freakish wrestling moves on zombies. It's not good, but it's not boring. And I will absolutely, I haven't watched Fear the Walking Dead, but to me, that is the biggest crime of more this episode than last episode, but last episode a little bit too. And this is why I didn't hate the first episode as much as you do. The first episode to me was at least not boring. These last 2 episodes, they don't have the subtlety of writing and whatever to pull this off. It's like a like a power metal band trying to play a ballad when they're used to playing speed metal, and they just don't have the touch to play sort of like a slower, like arpeggio sort of whatever. I know I'm throwing out weird musical terms, but you know what I mean. Like someone being out of their gear. Like if Walking Dead was doing crazy zombie explosions, like again, I keep saying this, but like Daryl riding on a motorcycle, shooting fucking zombie explosions everywhere, bam, 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 and no plot whatsoever, I'd be fucking fine with it. I'd watch every week. We'd come out and be like, "Oh, did you see the Boom Boom Joe? See that way that guy got killed? That little red shirt." And they took all these red shirt people and they had made all of our characters, our superhero characters, have complete. Because some of them do, but then when they suddenly
now what you want to watch? That
I don't want to watch that. I said I would watch
Z-Nation.
that. I would enjoy a show more like that, or Ash versus the Evil Dead, like more of a fun kind of like energy.
Those are both great shows,
Or I know you did. I don't know if you watched it. Santa Clarita Diet had a good tone to it as well. I know we don't have to get into your Drew. We don't have to get into your Drew hate. Your hate crime of hating Drew Barrymore, Joe. I don't have to get into this. I love it.
Horrible.
Yeah. You're horrible. No. Phil has they're very long. That's what Joe said. The true part of what Tony Pajama said is the overly long, the part of that comment. He said I have the best overly long metaphors. Joe's like, something's overly long. I agree, Phil. The Walking Dead had action or some level of movement forward, and now it's a political soap opera. It is. They're trying to pull off somewhere along the line. The Walking Dead decided it wanted to be spoken of in the same conversation as Breaking Bad, early Game of Thrones. Like
it was when it started. It was.
But I'm saying like they want, and then they realized that they were sort of a
shit house,
a greenhouse,
a shit house of fuck ups who screwed over all the talent that was working on the show early on, and the fucking fucking visionless, talentless, artisticless fucking nitwits took over.
You could say that about our show too.
Yes, you could. All they had in their eyes was fucking dollar signs, and they went grabbing for it and like fired everything that made the show good. Like seriously,
I agree. Or they alienated everyone and they wanted to create a cash cow. Again, to do another band metaphor, it's like the band writes the hit song, and like one hit song, and then all their music turns into trying to recreate that hit song. It's like Metallica. Before Metallica does the Black Album, and then they spend like 20 years trying to make instead of doing Kill 'Em All or Injustice for All, when Metallica was actually a fucking awesome band. But like, and it's like The Walking Dead. They wanted to get in on the grunge thing, so they needed to do more like whatever kind of songs, more rock bluesy kind of stuff, slower down shit. So they changed their style up. And The Walking Dead wanted to attribute to political intrigue drama shit right now and take over for where shows are missing from that stuff. That kind of intrigue shit, and it can't pull it off, especially in this episode, because you don't have the firepower. Maybe Andrew Lincoln could pull this off. Maybe Michonne could have pulled off some stuff like this, and I might have been more interested in it because the characters would have been more captivating. Maybe if you used some of the better actors you have on the show more often, Aaron.
No, and I'll tell you why. I say you're wrong only, and I say it straight up, and I'm sorry to say that like an opinion is wrong, especially yours.
That's the kind of show we have, Joe. Do it.
But the reason being is it was steadily had jumped off that cliff and steadily plunged to the ground, or is steadily plunging to the ground well before Andrew Lincoln was gone, well before Michonne was gone.
Fair, very fair.
Well before Glenn was gone, Abraham, like the dumpster scene was the jump off the cliff, and it has been steadily, if not, increasingly picking up speed since that moment. And those names were still on the show, some of them, for quite a bit. And even one of them was on the show and then left, and you would be sitting here going, maybe if Maggie was still here, it would be better. No. Maggie came back,
It's like, yeah.
And it's still dog shit.
No,
dude.
and she's worse. Everything is worse. So, so speaking of worse, Joe, Detective Eugene comes in on this situation. Eugene reports that his girlfriend Stephanie is missing after she fails to show up for their ice cream date. This is especially odd since Eugene just gave Stephanie a key to the apartment. They woke up in bed together at the beginning of the episode. He wakes to find Stephanie reading his science fiction novel, which is a key part of their romance. Tells her he loves her, but she gets this "you silly dumbass" look. We get the happy love music. It's fun. It's different. It's such a shit fucking intro. Oh my God, was this horrible? Right from the beginning. Again, his acting, he seems like, okay, I've no...
He's sweaty right off the start. He wakes up and he's sweaty.
He looks like Tom Arnold. Yes, he's sweating like Tom Arnold. But the problem with this whole fucking thing, it's like if you took the character of Pat or Church Lady and you put them in a dramatic scene, you know, like he's playing a Saturday Night Live kind of you mentioned Joe,
and he has exactly,
he's a funny guy.
Exactly what he's been doing this whole time,
and he's a funny guy. And if this was a character like him on Saturday Night Live playing a caricature of his character on The Walking Dead, he'd be playing it the exact same fucking way. There would be no difference.
Right, exactly. Well said.
And he is horrible like that. So when you see that, when you're having Church Lady try to sell a dramatic love scene, it just doesn't play. It doesn't play at all. It worked in Wayne's World because Mike Myers played it silly. Like they played up the silly of that. Or some people could say it worked in Night of the Roxbury for the same reason. Like it worked in some skits or Coneheads.
But that's because those scenes are intentionally comedic as well. There's
right.
no comedy.
But that's what I'm saying, the drama. Like if you had taken, like Mike Myers is an example of a rarity as someone that sort of sometimes takes comedic performances of him and puts it in a dramatic way. But I'm not saying it can never be done, but this guy, Josh McDermott, if that's his name, if that's your name, you can't pull this off. You'd be great on a comedy series. I think he'd be hilarious on like My Name is Earl or Raising Hope or something. Like if the actor has that kind of skill set, to me, he's pretty funny. His timing on those are funny. This side of Boomhauer, he could play a live action Boomhauer in a King of the Hill movie. He could do it, and it wouldn't be bad. You know, you dress him up the right way, give him a different color hair. You know,
he'd have to lose some weight.
He'd have to lose a lot of weight. But like that's beside the point. We get him on whatever program.
I don't want to see him in a leopard G-string.
Fair, but he could do the voice of it. I'm saying he could do the fucking voice of it, and he has that level of comedic talent. But he cannot pull off a dramatic sort of crime drama thriller kind of episode. And just by the very just by the very foundation of this episode, it's a failure from the beginning because it's just too much Eugene. It's like the title of this video. I'm sorry to just reference the title of the video. It's too much fucking Eugene. God damn. Sorry.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. It's like Heroes after season 3. Yeah, 100%.
Heroes after season 1.
Season 1, yeah.
Stop it. Don't go there.
Season 2
crawls out of the
it was, but season 2 is all right. Season 2 is all right.
Done.
Season 3
not dead. Done.
Second half of
season 2 sucked.
Second half of season 3.
Season 2 sucked from the second it started because Silas wasn't dead. Because that wasn't
Silas was on weeds.
Whatever. Spock lived. And it sucked from that moment on.
It always sucks when Spock lives. Holy shit.
Yes. What else can we talk about?
Jameson is strong. I'm sorry. We can talk about how I didn't.
Like a brief President's Men. Let's do that.
Wait. Yeah, those are good versions of the stories that they're trying to tell here. Okay, so let's continue here. Oh shit. So it's Laffy Hub. Love music. Fuck me. Fuck my life. Poor Eugene, frustrated in love. Oh my God. His ice cream melts. He loses out. Princess, who was, again, the actress Paolo Lazzaro, I think is her name. She is usually exceptionally good, even with limited material. I liked her in the previous episode with that one little scene with Mercer smuggling her way into the party. The best moment of this entire fucking episode, Joe, was Princess's one line that made so much sense. It was like a Curb Your Enthusiasm or a Seinfeld kind of line, where it's like, if you show up at someone's house with food, they have to let you in. And it's kind of true. When she shows up with the fake lasagna. I like the fake lasagna scene. There we go. I legitimately laughed at the fake lasagna.
We're already at the fake lasagna?
No, I mean, we're breaking this apart in a slightly different way. Like we're in sections. The
Oh, we're doing just his whole thing. Then we'll go do the
yeah.
Carol opium and then whatever.
Yeah, we're
okay
to a certain extent. So it's gonna go quick. It's gonna go quick.
Eugene is drunk and sweaty with a conspiracy theory.
There was a lot of sweat in this episode. Joe is right. Like Joe keeps mentioning the sweat, but he's right. In this, the Rogue Element. This episode's called Rogue Element, and the Rogue Element of the episode was Eugene's sweat.
Was the sweat?
Was the sweat? I mean, that's
Eugene. The Eugene was moist.
The night was Eugene. The night was.
No wonder she left. You see how much this dude is sweating, man?
Joe, we have a couple of voicemails. I think my audio's a little messed up, but hopefully this will work tonight. Let's see.
Hey, Joe, you should cheer up, man. It can't be that bad. I'm not watching the episodes, but, like, you're way too bummed out. Also, do you think that they are emphasizing the fact that whatever town they're in has a bunch of ice cream because it's a zombie apocalypse and having ice cream is probably, like, a luxury that, like, you know, a lot of people don't get to have in this new zombie world or whatever?
Yes.
So when they want to, you know, get new people to come to their town, they're like, hey, we got ice cream, and it's like it's part of their publicity or whatever. All right, later.
Yes, but you don't have to say it in every episode and remind them of the ice cream in every single episode. You say it a couple times. Say it once at the beginning and then maybe one other time. They keep mentioning the ice cream in every single opportunity that they have. But you are right. You don't have to mention it all the time. Emerald in the live chat says too much Eugene, thumbs down. Oltorf says church lady's a great comparison on that one. Too much kissing, not enough walker killing. Is there going to be a second season for sure? The season of All of Us is Dead is probably going to suck. Eugene's sweat will be the cure in the end. We've been looking for the cure to the zombie apocalypse, and I think ultimately we might find out it is Eugene's sweat. And I do think I need to work in the week between this week and next week for the Eugene sweat song.
Oh, so we won't be here next week?
Oh, no, we're here next week, Joe.
The week after that, we're not here.
No, we're here for the next.
We get to skip a week.
Nope, we're here for five more weeks, and then Better Call Saul starts. So at least we're going, hopefully, to a
nice
to a good show.
Oh, we definitely are.
So yeah, we do have a very happy conclusion at the end of all this. We have a little Bob Odenkirk going on. Okay, so Eugene tells her he believes that Princess is concerned that Eugene is locking himself away in his apartment all day. She's also been giving him dating advice. She pretends to show up with lasagna with an excuse to get him to talk about his feelings. But what she actually does is find a detective evidence smorgasbord of clues tied with strings and events. And Joe mentioned this earlier, but Eugene obviously is a great artist. He's drawing these like perfect representations, caricature people. He's got time to do that.
It's horrible.
It's amazing that he has that kind of time on his hands. But what she's actually finding is him doing all this detailing. Eugene can't chill. He frantically panics, packing things.
Why doesn't she say this shit? She walks in and she sees drunken, sweaty, out of his mind, crazy Eugene with yarn all over the fucking place and hand-drawn fucking sketches of people and all this weird fucking shit. Why she doesn't say to him immediately, dude, she packed up and fucking left your ass.
Yep.
She got scared and she left. Whether she meant it or not, whatever it was, she's gone. She broke up with you. Get the fuck over it. This shit is fucking nuts.
She eventually goes there with him, but she should have done it.
She should have done that before she's breaking into places with
Joe,
him.
I agree with you 100%, but we got Tim in the live chat who says he can't call him right now, but he knows what his message is, and it is... That's what he has to say to you, and he's saying hi to our good buddy Worf in the background too. So yes, Aegon the First, I agree. Joe's gonna disagree, but I would say that Mercer is probably the most interesting thing left on the show.
Tell me what makes him interesting, please.
He pulls off
his red armor instead of.
Are you gonna let me tell you, or
okay, yeah. He pulls off what?
He pulls off the action better than some people on the show. He's more
action.
He sliced the fucking zombie with an axe tonight.
You saw no action. You saw him do no action. You saw him do zero action. You saw a zombie peel apart from the middle and him stand there bloody and walk away. That's not him doing action. He hasn't done any action for us whatsoever. What's interesting
He
about
walked
this guy,
with he walked with
the fact that
he walked with blood on him. That was interesting.
Okay.
Okay, I like the dynamic that he's the most popular person in town because he's the guy out in the field. He's the soldier. He's sort of also the wait. Let me finish. Let me finish for a second. This is what I like. You asked me what I enjoy about the character. I like that he is the parallel of that other douche guy that wants the popularity of Mercer, so he's working hard to get that, and Mercer's not trying, and he's getting the popularity of the people. I find that relatively an interesting dynamic, and I think the actor pulls all that off well with his performance. I like his chemistry with Princess, and I think the two of them are pretty captivating on screen when they have scenes together. And
okay, so hold on. Let me just respond to those
please,
two things
please.
With this. So you like him because people want him to be popular, but he's like, I don't want to be I don't want to be the
It's an
guy.
interesting contrast of a character.
Okay, and then but like let's see, maybe does he deserve it? Because so far all the guards, every single one of them, and I'm pretty sure he's in charge of them, and we saw him training them, sucks. Really sucks.
He's a better doer than a teacher.
From prisoners in the train, somehow two of them got followed from prisoners that were in caves.
They're not very capable.
Got jumped, lost their armor. Even tonight, two of his well-trained fucking soldiers he had to go save so that the reporter could see them.
He saved a lot of people.
Zombies.
He saved a lot of people.
Because he doesn't train them.
He's not a good trainer. He's a doer. He's not a trainer.
I don't see what's interesting about him. He has no interest whatsoever. Every time I see any of them in their fucking stormtrooper outfits, they look so stupid. They did at first, they look like hard plastic. Now they really just look like foam.
They look kind of like Spaceballs. They look like the space.
Yeah,
they look
worse than Spaceballs. Spaceballs at least look a little bit.
No, I just mean like the design of the costumes look like the Spaceball.
It's stupid. It's just fucking stupid. And I see him in his red or orange or whatever the fuck color it is.
I'm colorblind. Don't make fun of me, Joe. I don't know what color. Is it red? It's red, right?
Sometimes it looks red to me. Sometimes it looks orange.
Alexa, turn first light red.
She does, Tony Pajamas. She does watch, and she fucking hates every goddamn.
Yeah, why do you think Katie's not here?
The fact that she has to watch it. The reason why she isn't here is because she would be sitting here, and all she would be doing is doing more of what Phil and I are doing, or more of what I'm doing.
She doesn't want to be this negative.
And she doesn't want to be this negative. She doesn't want to shit all over somebody else's show that they might happen to like. Me, I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with the show that you happen to like, and I'll tell you what's right with the show you happen to like. If there's something right about it. And this is not one of those fucking shows, and she doesn't want to have to only say negative shit, and that's all anybody should possibly be seeing him.
Aegon makes a good point. We see why Mercer needs Daryl and Rosita, because everyone else is fucking useless. So he needs self-trained soldiers because he can't train anybody himself, just to go to Joe's point. So, okay, so when we find Princess seeing all these sketches. She does indulge him, as to Joe's point, isn't until later where she just slaps him across the face and goes, dude, the girl broke up with you. In fairness, Joe, you're absolutely right. Every friend owes it to their friend at one point in time. If they're going through something like this, that's obviously over, to shake them and slap them across the face at the proper time. There's giving people enough rope to grieve and do their fucking depressing shit when it feels like you need to go through that.
She obviously did that. That's why she fucking went over there without a casserole.
Yes. She did.
She knew it was time to go slap a face.
Right, but she didn't. Instead, she
failed.
She got caught up with her own conspiracy theory beliefs and got into it a bit too much and started just fucking off there. So Eugene tells her that he believes that Stephanie made the wrong move and angered someone in the Commonwealth. Well, I believe that. So I believe that Stephanie, she pissed off the wrong person up on the ladder of time, and they caused her to violently vanish from this primal existence of my own integrity. So since we don't have the Walking David right now, I gotta step up with bad Eugene, or he does good ones. I gotta do my bad Eugene impression instead of his good one. Make sure you check out the Walking David on TikTok. Eugene tells her believe that Stephanie made a wrong move and angered someone in the government. Princess isn't so sure, but she cares enough about Eugene to go on a stakeout with him at an abandoned warehouse with a sign that says Rudy's Plumbing. Eugene tells Princess he's been following a mysterious man in dark-colored coat who left Stephanie's apartment on the night of her disappearance. His name is Roman Calhoun, and he claims to be the plumber. This guy, Roman Calhoun, I said it earlier, was this the wrestler Triple H? Because he kind of looked like him. I know it wasn't, but he kind of did look like him. He was a pretty bad actor.
Why do you think he's on The Walking Dead?
No, that's not fair. There's not just Jeffrey D. Morgan is not a bad actor, and he's on The Walking Dead. He's not on The Walking Dead right now. he did find himself.
It wasn't always that way, but now, like, you got to say to yourself, if you're like,
what am I doing with my career?
Exactly, like if you get the opportunity, you can say to yourself, like, at least it's something. I need the work. It's exposure. It's this. The Walking Dead used to be great, but then you have to say, like, do I really want to take that job? This is absolutely a sinking ship. Like, nobody's going to look at that on my resume and go, oh, they'll say, what season were you in? Season 11. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Joe, if they asked you to play a part, you'd take it. But that's not actually. In fairness, I'm not
gonna say no to that.
No, but the problem with that whole situation is neither one of us.
I'm not looking at a career.
Right. Neither one of us are career actors that are looking for a long term. We'd be doing it as a way of taking us from our normal doldrum. And I know you really love your job, but like taking it from the normal doldrum day-to-day life into a different kind of life. It's not a fair comparison because we're not working actors.
I'm not hunting for the next acting job when that's over with. I'm on my way home going, I was on
The Walking Dead. Yeah.
I was on 2 episodes of The Walking Dead. Look, I had 3 scenes and 4 lines.
Look at my yearly residual check of $400. Yay.
40 cents, right?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, probably like that. Wait, Phil Roy McCall, he was. I have kind of suspected Josh McDermott just is goofing off for the rest of his time in the show. I feel like this episode confirms it. I agree. I think he was. That's what I'm not even joking about the whole church lady stuff. I felt like through most of this episode, he was like just jerking off through the dramatic stuff. When like, you complete me, you let me down, you betrayed me. Like some of the ways he's saying these lines are just like. He's stuck in that Saturday Night Live accent that should have been a passive character, and has to perform these big lines. It's like be like Urkel again, like Urkel trying to be like to be or not to be. Did I do that? You can't pull off like the depth of it. You just can't do it. So Eugene suspects that the plumbing business is a cover for the secret operations. Never receive any mail. The lights are on at all odd hours, and they're ostensibly closed, and that's why people go in and never come out in the fair regularity. I think there's something wrong with these guys. This is not the first time these characters have been. This is the article saying this, and it's interesting that they were. I just want to read this in the way not to besmirch the writer, because I am stealing his shit to recap, so I didn't have to besmirch the writer here, but. To read, I just want to read what they say, and they're making Joe's point, but in a weird, nice way. This is not the first time these characters have felt betrayed by a community that they've trusted. Devoted fans have seen this pattern with Woodbury, led by the psychopathic governor, the cannibalistic road crew from Terminus, a healthy thing with the King Tom, Hilltop, Alexandria, and then the Saviors and the Whispers. We've seen this before, so it's familiar territory to lay its head on. So they were saying that it feels familiar, so that's good. So basically, it's more of the great same for The Walking Dead, not just repetition. We're not watching.
It's more of the great same. Not just repeating the great same. No, it's all just shit now at this point. Like, really, like the show ended. The show's last 2 really great moments, right? The last 2 really great moments were Rick chopping up fucking
porch dick,
porch dick.
That was good.
And Rick biting Mayor Joe Hale's fucking throat.
That was a while ago. The Mayor Joe.
And those are both so long ago, dude.
No, I would say the most recent. I'm not gonna have horrible recency bias. My best recent memory of The Walking Dead was that one-off episode, one of the quarantine episodes with the Terminator guy, which basically got the Terminator to the Peacemaker.
Wasn't a bad one-off.
That was a good episode of television with 3 good actors working and doing some fun stuff. So it made up for some of the other bullshit. It was actually scary. It was intense. It worked.
It was good, but it wasn't scary. It wasn't too intense. For what it was, for what I want to say is for the low budget, bad filming bullshit that this is, it worked. It was okay. It was the best episode of 30 or 40 really trash dog shit episodes that you have to watch so many hours of this show to pull out one episode that shines. Doesn't mean that episode is good or great by any means of the fucking word. It just means it doesn't have this it's fresh enough shit where maybe you're
dude,
oh,
that
I
is
can
literally
still see the corn in it. Maybe I'll eat that one.
That is literally the worst compliment I've ever heard in my life. That's great. That's great there. The Daywalker says, what the hell are they wasting time on Eugene garbage? There's only 12 fucking episodes left. And that's the other thing, Joe. We're watching this not because we want to torture ourselves every week with The Walking Dead. We're watching this because at the beginning of this season, there were 16 episodes left in the entire series of one of this last decade's biggest television series of all time. And we're wasting an episode on Eugene at this point.
Yep, exactly. That's a great fucking point, Phil. You're wasting an episode on Eugene and weird reporter bullshit. You're trying to turn your show into something it hasn't ever fucking been for the last 16 episodes. That is a bullshit move, a complete waste of time, and a great way to alienate the last remaining audience that has stuck with your fucking bullshit this far. Basically, you said everything that got us to where we are today, that more of the great same that Phil was just talking about, we're just going to throw out the window to give you 2.5, because the Carol shit was half the storyline, kind of 2.5, or weird storylines that really just to try to draw us into this weird community.
You know what it is, Joe? No, it's beyond that too. I think it's all of this stuff is disgustingly padded out, which some other shows that decide to do final seasons because the shows are failing, they're smart enough or considerate enough to do shortened seasons. We're getting, instead, The Walking Dead in its douchebag glory, like some asshole that's lost it all and still got to be a douchebag on the way out, decided to do this in 3 8-episode parts instead of just doing a normal 16-episode season. They had to do it in 3 fucking parts and take whatever little shit that they had left to tell and spread it as far, again, I mentioned this earlier in our messages, but they have a little sliver of butter. And they have a giant fucking bagel that they need to cover with that fucking butter because they can't eat this bagel dry, Joe. They can't do it. They don't have any water. And they are trying to spread this because maybe they have a little something interesting that they want to do. Maybe. I'm not saying they do, but maybe they do. But they can't do that with 24 episodes. So you got to pad this story out, and you're getting at least 8 of these hours that are just padded story, because should only be probably a 12 episode arc. They probably should have just done one 12 episode bam and be done, or just one 8 episode final season and just do 8 jam-packed fucking crazy episodes of all out craziness or whatever you'd want to do and just blow it all up. But no, you got to stretch it to 24 episodes, and you need to take an episode, and now you're doing this tried and true Walking Dead thing that doesn't work. not tried and true, failed and shitty Walking Dead thing where they take individual characters and they spread it out. And next week we're going to be with Daryl and Maggie, but they're going to keep this mystery story going on too with the reporters, and that's our carry.
Because all of our main characters are going to have an ending story of line of their own. They're all going to have their own individual story to tell at this point. We wanted them to all be able to say goodbye on their own.
Yeah, it just fucking sucks. It just fucking stinks, and it sucks, and it stinks, and it sucks. And it stinks and sucks. Okay, so
I chose poorly, dude. I thought Vikings was going to go on at least this long.
No, we'd be starting. You did choose poorly. You did. I did give you the choice. So Deputy Governor Lance Hornsby and takes Carol with him on a horse and buggy ride to an opium farm beyond the walls, which was different. This was, different than what we've seen. Different than what we've seen before. Lance tells her drug farms are like how the Commonwealth hospitals stay stocked with medicines. I said this was my one good camera shot of the episode, Joe. We had a shot of the poppy fields that I enjoyed. It wasn't completely horrible. It was a good camera pan over the poppy fields.
And yes, because one thing you want in the zombie apocalypse where everybody who dies turns into a fucking zombie is... an opium epidemic.
That's the second. It's the second zombie apocalypse. It's happening.
Yep, that's great. That'll be great for the workers. Don't worry. We'll give them all opium, and maybe we'll even be able to make the heroin, or some shit. But like the important thing is that when they die, they'll turn into zombies.
And when they're living, it's you get them on both ends here in the Commonwealth. Lance Hornsby, the drug lord boss Motto, was a comically silly character, but not comically silly in the good ways. He was just poorly portrayed and just awful. Or they again, him and Princess. I don't know if they were quick, and maybe this is poor direction on Cudlitz's part. He didn't require extra takes because he was like putting less on the actors and trying to get first takes out of people. And I'm making shit up. This is my headcanon because there were a couple of line reads in this episode that were just straight trash. And
but it was great director. The directing was great in this episode.
I just said it wasn't all great.
Sorry to have to go there, Phil.
No, please. I wasn't. It didn't all work, but there's some problems along the way, Joe. So, Drug Moto comically says some shitty line reads, demands raises for the workers, claiming they're on strike. Always the politician, Hornsby takes the drug lord boss on a fishing trip.
Carol stands in the back and silently broods.
Yeah, and watches
looking around.
And she does her
watching the other brooding people standing around.
Yep. Cudlitz Ed Wooded it. Yeah, he did. He's like, oh, just print it. It's good. It's nice when your hobby is also an apocalypse skill. They talk back and forth about fishing. Meanwhile, Carol finds out that this is what the notes say from this person. The person says, meanwhile, Carol finds out that he's stealing from his workers and the workers are on strike. How? I agree. I wrote it. How? Because she's observant. She could watch.
Because they're standing there? Because they said something? Because what? How?
Oh, in Tony Pajamas, it's so funny you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned it because we almost went past it. It was one of the lines that later on the episode, a few minutes later when they arrest him, the Motto, the horrible fucking drug lord, says the line, "Mother Puss Bucket." Joe, did Mother Puss Bucket sound familiar to you? It was a song that Alan wrote. It's like that's how it's one of those random, like Frightening Dick Theater was, or like one of those just random things Alan used to say, like back in the day. And so it was so cheesy that they threw that in an episode as a real insult. Like we've been making fun of Mother Puss. Like I know the song, I can hear it in my head. I know the song Mother Puss Bucket, but it was an early Alan song. But that was a very fun little reference in there, just directly for us. That again makes me think that the writers Writers know something. They're watching us, Joe, in some ways. We got the wonderful, the amazing Jackie C in the live chat. Good to see Jackie C. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, I forgot about that cringe pus bucket line. It was just as bad, equally as bad, but it's a worse show, so it doesn't seem as bad as like the bad pussy line in season 5 of Game of Thrones. You need a bad pussy. So we'll say that I was wondering why fake Stephanie's actor was looking like her common part, but I think the actress is playing back. I wonder that too. What I was wondering about the Stephanie's actress thing is how they had her wearing glasses. They had like fake Stephanie and real Stephanie wearing glasses. Was that for the audience so we could know that they were playing it, or was that set up by the Commonwealth to try to make fake Stephanie look kind of like real Stephanie? But why would it matter if Eugene only talked to her on the radio?
She said she wore glasses.
Did she?
Maybe. I'm playing Phil again. You were asking that same question.
Yeah, maybe.
I just have a need in me to want to answer rhetorically questions about stupidly horrible shit.
Okay. So Hornsby says, me Carol finds out they're stealing. He orders the Commonwealth soldiers who came along to arrest the drug lord. He wants Carol to be his, I don't know. I can't tell if he wants Carol to be his Ray Donovan or he wants to like mate with Carol. I think it's more the Ray Donovan thing. Like he's training her to be his fixer and like do all the dirty work for him. But I don't know. Did you get that vibe at all? And I know you're a fucking horseshit, but
I feel like this is it. This is what I feel like. He knows Eugene is fucking useless, right? Nobody respects Eugene. They may like him. They may not be mean to him or anything like that, but like respect him as a leader, respect him as a tactician, respect him as an anything but okay, go make magnets and, mix gunpowder. Because everything else out of your mouth is just stupid. Get away from me, right? Like, he needs somebody else from the new people to like, let in a little bit of his fold and think that he's a good guy or trustworthy or whatever, so he can manipulate even more people somehow because he's playing political shit. I don't know.
No, fair.
Like,
he's at least a different
I feel
kind
horrible having to think so hard about making up backstory for this show.
Headcanon, but isn't it because he's at least a multifaceted character to a certain extent with the double face?
There's no facets. There's no facets on him. Like even Eugene,
no
facets. And then a shadowy fifth figure, and they show the dude walking out. I'm like, dude, it's the dude that you've been. It's the first person. It's the person whose feet you've been groveling at since you came to this fucking town. How did you not recognize his silhouette? I've only seen him for like 10 seconds, once a week for like 3 weeks.
And you recognize it. Atari Dad makes a good point. Like, could you, Yvette Nicole Brown on The Talking Dead last week, and even she looked like she was struggling to care. I feel like even a lot of the sycophantic.
Oh, she's the note taker, right?
Yes.
She's the one that like early on was on the Talking Dead.
Yep.
And remember
from Community. From Community.
Like, 2 weeks ago, last week of it. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I was like, even she won't come on that.
No,
show.
she was on last week, and I don't watch it, but it's hard. It must be hard to totally like I shill on it. I don't chill on it to just argue with you, Joe.
She doesn't watch the shit anymore. That's how
she gets paid.
Just the episode for tonight. And she hasn't watched a single other episode.
I bet she doesn't even watch.
Years.
She probably watches it like when you play like sport, when you're a professional sports ball athlete and you're watching films, you don't watch like what we watch on TV. They do like a tight edit of like all the plays back to back to back. So she probably gets like, all dialogue cut out and just like a quick frame by frame enough so she can kind of put it together in the script to read through that she can read in the toilet in 5 minutes because she's an actress, like a TV actress that can just like probably bang out a script. So she knows what's going on, but she's not watching it and engaged in this crap. So uncovering the truth. Connie and her sister Kelly serve as her interpreter. They go through the Commonwealth trying to figure stuff out. First, they get yelled at. We get a Perry White situation. Oh, if you don't get me these pictures, at JJ Jameson.
Oh my
if
God,
you don't get me these pictures of Spider-Man, if you don't PR write my Spider-Man speech, I'm gonna kill you.
Honestly, like,
I laughed.
if you take yourself serious, I'm a reporter for this town. Do you take it like if you were a reporter in Alexandria?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm the Alexandria reporter. Have you gotten in touch
not.
with the Hilltop office to confirm or deny any of the
we need to confirm a quote.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
We heard a rumor that Judith is Shane's
I
father.
live in the zombie apocalypse, but I work as a reporter. And my friend, they work at the ice cream store. It's so fucking stupid.
The other one's at the zoo. He's at the zoo, and he speaks in this like Renaissance.
Rick would be chopping them all up with a fucking axe
and
right now.
And
what is
30 days exactly.
People?
Ultorf said it again. I mentioned this earlier, and it's only 30 days, and she's this ingrained back into her normal life, being a reporter in the Commonwealth. Like, she's way into it. She's just doing it normal. Like, she's been through a huge trauma. She just got back to the group after going through this huge,
right.
And she's just like, yep, running, going through reporter and her whole setup. And wasn't there another thing with her sister losing her hearing too? Did they just drop that storyline? Like, wasn't her sister starting to lose her hearing as well?
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm not making that up, right? Is that like a Beth thing where they're just going to forget about it? Where they're just going to we're going to brush. That wasn't.
You're all going to be dead soon enough. It won't matter.
Joe, don't.
You're not going to. Nobody loses their hearing in 6 months. So
Joe, don't
really have to bring it up again.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Don't say all. It
was a storyline they started before they knew that the ship was fully
right.
sunk.
I agree with that. That was something that they would have spread out over a couple of seasons long arc. But now that it's ending, they're just going to abandon.
They're like, okay, we'll have you go like this. Oh, my ear a couple times, or I don't understand I can't hear something a couple of times.
I don't even think they're.
Or when there's a zombie around, suddenly you'll lose your hearing again. Don't worry about it. That's the only time it's going to ever.
The reporter was there to spread the fake zombie news. The Commonwealth Tribune editor insists that Connie's full story. Good one, Emerald. The Commonwealth Tribune's editor insists that Connie's full story can't be printed about the renegade trooper Tyler.
No breaking news. All party line here. Like, are you kidding me?
And it's like, it's not even smooth. It's such broad strokes of stupidity. It's like we're watching, what was the name of that fucking show on Netflix with Robin Wright Penn and fucking Creepy Spacey? We're watching like for head of the class, not head of the class. What was the name of that fucking show?
I don't know.
You know the one I'm talking about. Fucking
Saved by the Bell.
It's like Saved by the Bell for dummies in this fucking shit.
Oh, 90210 radio station.
House of Cards for dummies. Is that what we're watching?
Like, why doesn't the newspaper go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Can you look around? Can't you see that if we print their shit, I lose my job, you lose your job, we'll either get kicked out, thrown in a fucking burial pit somewhere with another 100 people that spoke out
with Joe Pesci from
stupid fucking shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Do you like your job as a reporter, walking around, getting paid to walk around and talk about like what flavor ice cream? Oh, you're going to attempt to build the new world order's biggest cookie.
New world order.
Let's give that a taste. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
I want to eat the biggest
cookie. What
cookie.
is wrong with you, chick?
Joe, let's get back to this cookie. Is it?
Get out of my fucking office and go get me one of them fucking cookies.
Is it chocolate chip?
What the fuck are you trying to do?
Get me the cookie.
My fucking job. Don't get me fired. You print the bitches, every word that bitch said up on the microphone. You don't even mention this, dude. You don't mention any knives. You don't mention the cut-up painting.
Or you're fired.
You don't mention nothing, or you're fucking fired.
Get out.
You can go sit and make fucking ice cream for a living, but you ain't going to be doing this shit. The fuck is wrong with you?
Get me some pictures of Spider-Man.
And that goddamn cookie.
Give me the cookie and Spider-Man. So Connie has a violent outburst to mental illness, not part of the bigger rebellion. Connie visits the hospital to talk to Tyler along with Kelly, but they encounter Mercer instead guarding the doorway. Later, when Connie interviews Mercer on a mission near the military truck, she directly asks him if he influenced by the fact that Tyler took his sister hostage, and he leaves it on a very hinky sort of point. Again, I know what you're going to say to a certain extent, Joe. I didn't mind the interactions between Mercer and Connie. I thought both of them are good actors, and they had a moment in the scene. That doesn't mean what was going on wasn't shit and fucking useless. But there was a couple of kernels of fucking corn I pulled out of the duty that I found in the moments that...
Whatever gets you through, Phil. Like I said, I'm not
That's
going to argue
dude,
that
you're
it
like,
wasn't
you're
something for you.
that is like the arguing point, like when your parents start yelling, you're like, if you want to do that, you just do it. You're just egging me on. You're trying a different strategy and it's pissing me off.
It's not my fault, Phil. I can't argue with you that you liked
Shut up!
Those kernels of shit out of there. Or kernels of corn that you plucked out of the shit. Like, yeah, hey, I can't. If that's what you
Joe.
Whatever. At least you can find something.
I
can't anymore.
I'm trying.
There's shit smeared all over my goggles. I don't even see the corn.
Okay, so Connie visits the hospital, blah, 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 blah. And then final point at the end of the episode, we'll get back to the Princess and Eugene situation. Princess and Eugene are arrested. The car is impounded. There's no way to avoid for them to be grounded. The guy, Calhoun, Lance Hornsby, had to come back from vacation to get him. He'd rather drop by jail than to let Princess hit him.
And of course, this guy's going to control that whole situation because Calhoun's not going to press charges. They're not going to go to any other like jail cell aside from where... It's just,
and then Eugene, being like the biggest dumbass this side of the fucking Mississippi, decides to sign the random documents that this dude puts in his face to say he was insane. And that's what's funny about this guy. This Lance Hornsby dude. He's what I kind of like about him. He's gonna tell. Will you sign these papers to say you were insane, this whole situation? Like, he's basically he's like calling his shot. And at the end, when Eugene's like, I'm gonna tell everyone about you, he's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. Like, I kind of like that tack about it. He's like, who's gonna believe you? You signed these papers. You're a fucking moron. Like, he calls Eugene out on being a moron, which I enjoy to a certain extent. So he pulls out numerous documents, Calhoun being a legitimate plumber, along with an invoice showing he fixed the sink in the apartment. Hornsby is able to offer an explanation for everything, including Calhoun's illegal weapon stash. Everyone has a to-go bag. He tells Eugene no charges will be filed as long as he signs these papers, and that he's emotionally distraught in a paranoid state when he broke into the apartment. So basically, again, he's calling his shot, and Eugene just falls for it. The conversation only deeply convinces Eugene that his conspiracy theory is...
I'm sorry. I got to get back to that to-go bag business. The to-go bag business, they're a citizen of the Commonwealth. They have a license for those weapons. Excuse me? That's what, like, I don't understand, like, any of our people being like, oh, okay, I'll give up my weapons and join your community. Here, take all my weapons. I don't need anything on me to defend myself should one of your walls fall, like in the last 7 fucking communities that I've been in. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no. Then I got to go apply. If you don't like the way I look, think, speak, act, job performance, what bars me from being able to get a license for your weapons? It's fucking ridiculous. Like, that alone. What are our people doing? Like,
they don't know.
It'll be a safer place for Judith. One with food. Okay. All right. Whatever, guys.
Lizard says, I feel like it's the opposite character time. Daryl trusts strangers. Eugene, the smart guy, acts dumber than a box of shit. He's fucking awful. I do not have a new cat. I don't know if you maybe that's my dog Lotus you see, or you see the stuffed animal pillow pet that I have of my passed away cat. I do want to get a new cat ASAP. It's just hard to afford it right now, to be honest with you. But I will be getting a new cat as soon as I have an opportunity to. I want to get a kitten at some point.
Kitty.
And I will 100% introduce you guys when that day happens. But I think if you're talking about that thing right there, that's Lotus the dog in hiding in the corner.
Hang on. Don't worry, it's coming.
What's
They
it?
still wasted an episode on Eugene, and you'll get another wasted episode with a complete Hornsby backstory. I'm sure. I'm almost positive.
But you might get that in the final 8. You might not. You like that. They're gonna waste a final 8 episode on him. I bet, because he's gonna become a main character a little bit. I have a feeling. I feel like he's not going anywhere. He's Neganing the group. He's gonna stay with them for or he's gonna become the commander. He's gonna assassinate or take over.
Take over the Commonwealth.
Take over from the Shark Tank girl.
So he can run a drug empire.
Yes, exactly. And armies of zombies.
Which is so stupid.
Oh my God! There's a cat peeing in my shoes. Where? Where? There's a cat peeing in my shoes. Where? I wouldn't doubt it. There's random animals popping on in. So okay. So the conversation doesn't convince Eugene of anything. Eugene is convinced that I'm privy to one piece of information that you don't know Princess. As Princess just tells him he's a dumbass. Listen, she broke up with you. Just fucking deal with it. And then this is what I'm talking about with the Saturday Night Live skit thing. He gives one of the worst dramatic reads of a line I've seen on a major television show in the history of my life. And I know I'm hyperbolic, but I'm being completely honest, where he's like, well, you're just not privy to one little thing. I know how it felt. Like, it was set up for this like big dramatic moment. It's like, this is the thing that they're gonna give to the Academy for his like nomination or something. Like the music's all intense. They set it up like, you don't know how love felt.
I may be a smart man,
Jenny,
but she was the first girl I ever slept with.
I knew. When is the good question? We have the wonderful, the amazing Fernandez T in the live chat, and the final episode of The Walking Dead is not soon enough for Joe. I will say that. That's the answer to the question. But in fairness, Joe, we're almost done with this episode. I have to cut down the time of talking about it, and we're not near what we usually talk about this. We're speeding up the process of talking about the episode. I like reading this kind of recap instead of actually recapping it. No, stop. I want to talk. It's almost over, Joe. So we're back. Princess says Eugene breaks into a dimly lit warehouse again, encounters several people in dark-colored clothing, prompting after a fight. He sprays one of the people in the face with Windex or something. I don't know. And the fake Stephanie kicks him in the stomach. Hornsby comes down, says, I'll handle it. Eugene,
oh my God.
And we get this big dramatic scene with Hornsby.
You fooled me.
Yes,
I did. Me. Well, too bad. Well,
am I the villain? Am I the boogeyman? Am I a bad guy? You're right, Eugene. I did lie to you. And your friends lied to get into these walls too. He ultimately sees himself as a hero, use the ends to justify the means, but who's cutting score? You lied, you got your people in here and you're getting your place rebuilt. So who gives a fuck, Eugene? Shut up. And by the way, Stephanie's not really her name. Her name's Jane. I don't know what the fuck her name was. She hates Iron Maiden. Oh my God. And but she did enjoy reading your book. And Eugene in the next scene burns.
And she said you got a small pekka. You sweat way too fucking
There's
much.
a lot of sweat. She did say something about the sweat. She said you should shower more. There's running water in the Commonwealth. Eugene burns all the missing posters of Stephanie. He's crushed that the relationship was built on lies. He tosses the typed draft of his novel into the flames along the posters. But did you think this was real? Like at the end of the episode, when we see the real Stephanie comes behind him and starts talking to him, I thought he was like hearing voices in his head or something. Like the transition in was really poorly done. And it's like, hi, are you doing all right? Are you okay? And like we're supposed to like recognize the voice as the real Stephanie before we see her, but I didn't recognize the voice.
No, it was supposed to be the line about where's my tater? Come in, tater.
And
whatever it was.
Oltorf says,
on your rocky road, where's my tater?
Yeah, Oltorf says, am I supposed to care about a secret society that tricked Eugene? What are we supposed? And that's a good question. Another great point by Oltorf. What are we supposed to feel in this episode, Joe?
I have no fucking clue.
Me neither.
I never liked Eugene enough to care what, like, if he got shot in the face tomorrow, I'd be like, finally, I don't have to ever listen to that fucking shit fuck talk again. Like,
what you talking about, Joe? It's ridiculous. I don't know what they were going for in this episode. That's the toughest part. At least the last episode, I know what they were going for. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do. I don't know what they were trying to make us feel. Are we supposed to think that the Commonwealth is completely evil, or are we thinking that Eugene is overdoing this a little bit? Like, are we supposed to think that Hornsby, are they trying to give us gray characters for the first time when they can't pull that off because they don't have the skill set for it? I don't know. Fernandez T, when in one episode there was no zombies, but in one a whole beach, some guy just happened to fall right beside that gave up on this show. Secret Society, isn't Eugene dead? In all our hearts, he is, Fernandez. He's not really, the character isn't really dead, but in all our hearts, hopefully he is. So Joe, the real woman steps out of the shadows behind him like an episode of Arrow. Suddenly we're in the CW for a second, and a character steps out of the shadows, because that happens all the time in real life. You're not aware of people just walking up on you. Like, you never can tell. So whatever. So someone walks up on him, starts talking to him. It's the real Stephanie that's in town. What the hell's going on, Joe?
are you sure it's the real Stephanie?
Could it be fake Stephanie too? Electric Boogaloo?
Yep, I think it is.
Could be. You never can tell. Maybe the final episode will be in Nebraska. You never can tell. So, Eugene, do you think this is going to go anywhere, Joe? Is the real Stephanie of someone of interest? Someone mentioned earlier, could the real Stephanie be connected to the Commonwealth? Is the real Stephanie going to be connected to the Commonwealth?
All laid down by underground.
It could be.
I don't care.
I don't care. I think Joe's reached his end of talking about this episode. We got another voicemail from our good buddy Jay.
Yes, Phil. This episode.
Joe has exercised all his adjectives for this particular episode of The Walking Dead. So let's continue with Jay's message here before we start to knock knock. Who's there? Turd Ferguson. Let's listen to it. Ninja zombies are the best. We need more. Okay, so listen to Jay's message.
Whoever you're talking about playing Boomhauser in a live-action King of the Hill would completely suck, because King of the Hill is like the worst show Mike Judge ever created. I can't believe the dude that created fucking Beavis and Butthead and the people who had stuff to do with The Simpsons came together and made the shittiest show ever. All right, so yes, it would be horrible just because that show is horrible. Later.
Joe, were you a fan? I wasn't the biggest fan, but were you a fan of King of the Hill?
After the fact, yes.
It
doesn't really hold up either.
Beavis and Butthead, the skit parts hold up. Daria holds up. I was watching Daria the other week too. I kind of like that. Yeah. Do you think that Heath will make an appearance? No, Diarrhea. No, I think Heath is gone. On a better note, the new epic show From is pretty enjoyable so far. Gruesome. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I will maybe try to give it a shot. What I haven't given a shot yet that I want to check out is the Boys animated series that just came out on Amazon. I believe the first episode dropped. I don't know if more than one episode dropped.
No, I really want you to wrap this up. Because now I really want to go watch that. I didn't know that existed.
You're like, wait, Phil.
Whoa, I did not know about that.
Wait, Phil, you're telling me there's a wait, shut the fuck up, Phil. Are you telling me there is a Boys animated series? I haven't watched the first episode. I can't speak to it. I don't know the quality level of it. I don't know who it's following. I don't know anything about it. But
I don't care. I want to go watch this.
But we need to watch it. I'm probably gonna watch it when I'm done here too. I also have to watch the new episode of Severance, and
I also got to watch John Oliver,
and I have to rewatch. I kind of was watching it in the background, a couple of other things too, but I love hearing you guys talk about it. We're gonna take a couple questions in the live chat, and then we'll call this a stream. Thank you guys for joining us tonight to talk about this episode of The Walking Dead. Joe and I will be back next Sunday to talk about yet another, maybe 2 episodes of The Walking Dead.
Yes, we're gonna do 2 in a row.
You want to figure it out? You want to?
Yeah. We gotta. We gotta do something to move this shit along.
I think they drop
Take
it
it upon ourselves to move this series along a little faster.
We could watch 2 episodes, Joe. It could happen. We could theoretically do that. I do have links. I know a website that does it. If you'd be willing to go down some Homelander. Oh yeah, in real life, Homelander got arrested. Did you see that? The actor that played. He beat somebody. He like went crazy on somebody, and he went Homelander on somebody. Let me read. What's his star? Arrested boys actor. It is Anthony Starr. He got arrested for assault charges, and I want to say he like beat somebody up in a bar, but I could be wrong. I don't want to look into it. And does anyone else catch the real Stephanie was the governor's assistant? I honestly thought in a moment. Homelander did get arrested.
Was it the girl that ordered the Rocky Road? The original in that episode from like whatever back.
I would have to care enough to go back and watch.
See, I kind of want to.
Why?
Because I said it was.
Right. Okay, fair enough. So, but maybe you could find a clip on YouTube so you wouldn't have to watch the whole episode.
Well, I have like.
Oh, you have access to
the episode. Yeah, you can put on the episode and fast forward through the thing.
She was the lady from.
I don't know what episode it was, so that's gonna be kind of sucky.
She was the lady from the last episode who was like, "I am one of you." He says, "Don't you know who I am?" I don't know. So, like, and it's tough, Joe. I say this every week to you, and I keep wanting to push this on as we're gonna start to wrap things up here. Can the show? You said no. Can it get you back for this final push? Is there anything they can do? Even the Andrew Lincoln. I know you don't want Andrew Lincoln to come back. You don't want him to fucking soil himself.
No. This show is like, I would, if it wasn't for us doing this, I would have stopped watching that a long time ago.
Me too.
You know that I would have. You know that I absolutely would have.
No, and you know I probably would have as well. I probably would have stopped.
Like I stopped Heroes dead in its track. I stopped Lost dead in its track. Both of those after season 1, I was like, nope, done. Watch the full season. I'm actually honestly surprised. I can't suffer that shit.
I'm actually honestly surprised you still watch it now.
The Walking Dead?
Yes.
I have to for this show.
I mean, you could.
So I at least know what I'm talking about.
In fairness, I
could, but like in fairness, honestly, I like.
Would people know that? Would you know the difference? Would it matter too much?
I would know the difference.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You would, and then you'd be no better than them.
Yep.
Phil, where can you get pillow pets made of your pets that crossed over the Rainbow Bridge? A friend of mine did it for me. She took a picture of, but you can find it. I think she got it through Amazon, but I can double check with her for next week. But she took a picture off social media that she saw of my pet, and she got the pillow pet made for me so I could have somewhere to store his fur that I took from him before we buried him. So I want to say she just got it off Amazon. There's a lot of sites that do similar things. There's ones that make full stuffed animals like your pets too. There's a lot of sites like that will take pictures, and the 3D printing stuff is so good now that you can get really good. You don't have to get creepy like taxidermy, but you can get really good stuffed animal versions or pictures or shit, like little fucking crystal things that glow a fucking face of your dog, like your dog or your cat. Pretty good. The technology is good. So we'll listen to Jay's last message and then we'll say goodbye to everybody. And if anyone wants to get any last minute questions or comments right now, it is the time.
Every time, my last minute comment about this show is every time I see one of these fucking stormtroopers, right? The first thing that goes through my mind is it's like Adam from that show trying to make a video with his brother. I don't know what the name of that show is.
Which show?
Adam. Not the Wonder Years. The Wonder Years from the 80s.
Oh, Adam Goldberg, the Goldbergs.
Goldbergs. He's trying to make a fucking like he's trying to do Star Wars with BMX shit. I don't know. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah,
So stupid.
Fernandez T. We want to send some special love right now to a member of the Issues Program family, Big Daddy Matt, co-host of the Sopranos podcast, and his wife Jen, who just lost one of their amazing fur babies, the wonderful, incredible Stan. I know Matt will never be watching this far into a Walking Dead podcast at this point, but Stan was one of the best dogs, good friend with Lotus. Katie, I know, took care of Stan as well at times, and very, very much a part of the family. Matt and his wife,
sad.
make have their dog. Their dogs are part of their family. A side note of something that Jen did once with. She dresses up Stan and Rosie in amazing Halloween costumes every year. It's like one of the things I look forward most every Halloween is to see what Jen dressed the two of them up. And at one point she dressed up one of them as a Orange is the New Black actress that actually like retweeted or shared the photo of it because it was that good of a design, I believe. But both so yeah, just side note since we're talking about pets, one of our families of dogs local to us just passed over that rainbow bridge. So lots of love to Stan and the Big Daddy family over there up there in the north that they are now. And Matt and I will be back with more Soprano podcasts eventually. But yes, Puppy Facey, I highly recommend the stuffed animal stuff and all of that. It nothing helps 100%, but it definitely does help. And what's funny about it, Lotus, my dog Lotus, definitely got along very well with my cat Betty, who didn't like dogs at first, but was won over by Lotus, and they became best friends. And will chew up any fucking stuffed animal, anything. But and I don't know if it's because of this, because I have the fur in there and she smells the fur of Betty, will never rip up that stuffed animal. Will cuddle with it. Doesn't bite it, just like nuzzles up to it sometimes and shit. And so really good stuff. Anyway, sorry to bring things down to like a real point when we're trashing. Now the point of the view of this episode is just that I suck. I cannot carry an episode. But myself, in the indignant stance of my own humanity, cannot do this. I'm better in small bursts, like a one moment scene here and there. When they try to do too much with me, I fucking suck. That's my final review of this episode. Thank you to everyone in the live chat tonight. Thank you to Joe. Joe thanking me for ending things. Thank you to everybody. I will be back sometime towards the beginning of the week with Tony talking about the show Severance on his channel. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm also recording the second episode of the Beatlemaniacs podcast I did with an old teacher of mine. You can find that on YouTube under the Beatlemaniacs if you want to check that out if you're a fan of that. And I will be joining a good friend of ours of the show and his podcasting partner on an episode talking about the first episode of the new season of Picard. I will be I'll wait for that to be released to share the link of that, but you may remember our ghost friend.
We won't do that show instead.
We can talk about that at some point in time because I will be keeping up with it, Joe. So we can definitely do that. So I never played Jay's message. Sorry, Joe. I never played Jay's message.
The show doesn't need to get YouTube back. You already had YouTube. You never left. You kept watching this show and kept doing this podcast or this.
It's our
podcast.
Fault.
This recap show or whatever. It never lost you. It doesn't need to get Joe back. The show is just as happy. It's just happy enough with Joe being miserable as long as he continues to watch. All right, later.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness,
he's right.
He's right. It's working. It's keeping us watching. There's nothing that we can do about it.
No, it's not keeping us watching though.
The live motherfucking chat is keeping us watching because we like coming out and getting to talk to you guys. We might not like the show we're talking about. We go through shit. We go through good shows. We go through fun times. We go through hard times here on the Issues program.
Anybody who still watches the show and likes it doesn't watch us.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is
it's true.
Like, so it's a cop-out that we say we do it for this show.
But yes, I will be on a upcoming episode of I'll share it when the episode comes up because I'm not sure when they're going to post it. But talking about the first episode of Picard with an old friend that's joined us many times here on the show. And
in fact, we really should take a stand, Phil.
And just stop at this point.
And just stop at this point. We should.
Okay.
We should have enough self-respect for ourselves.
Do you think we should stop
to
this?
Tell them that they suck enough. Where you know what, the one person
Joe, you just want what you want to do is you just want to wait for 5 episodes and then just review the final 5 episodes the last week after the season finale. Is that what you want to do? The only way I would agree to doing something like that is if we promise to at least come out here every week and talk about something.
Okay.
But
we got Picard, then we got VCS.
Look at Joe trying to talk me out of talking about The Walking Dead.
And then after VCS, we'll have The Boys, and after The Boys, we'll have more.
No, we're talking about other
the
Invincibles.
The
Last of Us, then Game of Thrones,
and then and the Lord of the Rings, and
we're gonna be talking about all that stuff. But we are gonna finish talking about The Walking Dead. But I think what we might start doing more often is just having this be a Sunday night show where we mention The Walking Dead as part of it, because we are gonna be watching it. But I want to catch up to be talking about the newer episodes. So, Joe, we'll talk a little bit more about this next week. We're going to be talking about 2 episodes of The Walking Dead. We'll find a way to do it. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you liked this video and you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend.
Thank you.
I'll be back soon. Joe has 0.1 Walking Dead energy. I can't watch Valhalla without thinking about Joe's teeth comments, says Puffy.
See, I'm telling you.
It's hard. Do they have a lot of clean teeth on Valhalla?
Oh, the shiny white pearlies.
That being said,
all of the main actors. Yep.
If you are watching Valhalla, I highly recommend watching King McKay and his reviews. He's the best guy out there talking about Vikings right now. So make sure
that show is just trash. Not King.
No, King McKay is awesome, and he's having a lot of excitement for it because I understand Vikings is his passion. So he's finding these moments in it and stuff like that. I haven't watched the show, so I can't speak to it. But I know his content is quality. So
yeah, if you liked the boneless years, then you'll like this continuation because it's just as soap opera-y.
Joe, do you know what you've been amazing with? Like these backhanded compliments tonight. You've been like excellent at these backhanded like oh, if you want some shit, if you want to like shit, you could totally like this.
There's not one actor, much less the whole group, that can carry a show in Valhalla. Yeah. And she drops the mic. It's over.
And she drops the mic.
Do you hear that?
Weak, she says.
Yeah, she's like, I'm done. That's her 5. People want it. They ask for it a lot. That's your 5 seconds.
Yeah, they were asking about you earlier.
Yeah, that's your 5 seconds of Katie for the year until the Game of
you got her
until the Game of Thrones series comes out. That's probably your last your 5 seconds of Katie. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll talk to you guys next time. Later.